Welcome back. Well, today we have the Orange County Fire Authority on, and we have Captain Larry Kurtz, who is the Public Information Officer for OCFA, and we have Alexa Pratt here today, who is the education specialist and help all the different communities from the kids all the way up, right?
Yep, that's
it's good
my
to see you
job.
back again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First, we're going to talk about a couple recent brush fires that we had. And as I said earlier, coming up this weekend, we could see our first bout of somewhat strong Santa Ana winds as that high pressure system begins to move in. And a while back, not too long ago, there was a brush fire very close to where I live. It's called Holy Jim Canyon, which is right above Rancho Santa Margarita. And that happened, I think it was August 31st, right? We got some
that is
photos
correct,
we're going
yes.
to show. Yeah, so tell us about, it was unique in many different ways.
Right, well, this summer has been a very busy summer with fires throughout California. Unfortunately, Orange County has been spared a lot of the big fires because we haven't had that much wind. The first fire that you did mention is the Holy Jim fire. We actually cut that down and called it the Holy Fire.
Yeah.
It started about 4 o'clock in the morning, and when we got out there, we looked around and we couldn't even see it. It was actually located on the Cleveland National Forest land. You would have to go very, very deep into the Holy Jim Canyon Road, and that's that dry wash bed that people use that we recommend you only have a 4x4 to get back there.
Exactly,
so that fire actually started in the bottom of a very steep ravine and proceeded up one side of the ravine all the way to the canyon rim. So this fire actually took us about 6 to 7 days to completely extinguish and get full 100% containment. One of the big issues was obviously the slope of the hill.
Yeah.
These are incredibly steep slopes. Guys were having to use ladders. They were having to use pieces of hose tied to burned out trees to get up the hill. But fortunately, throughout this fire, there was no homes that were threatened during the fire. We had no injuries, fortunately. And the fire was eventually put out. Now, on that fire was because it was on the Cleveland National Forest, we had access to some very unique firefighting assets.
Yes, you did.
And one of them was the smoke jumpers.
Yes.
For your viewers who maybe aren't aware, the smoke jumpers are a very elite squadron of firefighters from the U.S. Forest Service, and they actually jump out of airplanes with parachutes. It's sort of a, 101st Airborne for the Forestry Service. They actually landed on top of the ridge top because there was almost no way to get access up there, and they bring all the things they need with them, all their tools, all their food.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, they're up there for 3 days cutting directly across the line, and people ask us, okay, fine, they come out of the airplane and they drop onto the fire, and after they get their work done, how do they get them out? Well, they walk out. they either have to clear a path for a helicopter to pick them up, or sometimes it's as simple as them walking in a direction and finding some random road somewhere for somebody to pick them up. These guys and women are in these organizations. They tend to operate more in the northwestern sections of the United States, in Washington, Montana, Idaho. This is the first time in the history of the Cleveland National Forest that any smoke jumper has ever descended upon Cleveland National Forest. That was something.
Yeah, and you see some of the photos we put up here, and you can see the steep terrain in the top couple photos there.
Right.
The bottom left photo, I know you folks were drawing water from Dove Canyon, from even RSM Lake.
Right. We stopped pulling it out of RSM Lake after a couple of go-arounds.
Yeah.
It's not very deep. From a helicopter pilot's perspective, they see it and they think, "Oh, great, a lake," and then we tell them it's only 1.5 feet deep.
Yeah, exactly.
But just think of all the sunglasses and wallets and car keys we would find at the bottom of that if we drained it.
Yeah.
So we started using the Dove Canyon Reservoir, which is far better, far safer for
Exactly.
us.
And actually the bottom right photo, that's actually my photo.
Your photo you offered to us, thank you.
That is what we saw, actually when I was leaving work that day, right in my driveway. So I know that morning I got up and I didn't really notice anything. We had one of our windows open because it was a fairly warm night. But my wife said, when I got up, I kind of smelled something, thinking, is somebody barbecuing? What's going on? She went up on our balcony, and we saw it. And at that point, the smoke was really strong. But that was, like about 5:30 in the morning.
Right. Some fires can begin in very remote areas, and we could not find out about them until it's had almost a 2-3 day head start on us. All fire needs is time, and sometimes the canopy of the overbrush conceals the smoke, sometimes the wind conceals the smoke, and by the time we find out about it, we're up to several hundred acres. Fortunately, this one only hit about 100 acres.
Yeah.
So we've been very fortunate with that one.
Now here is another, what I want to call unique fire.
Yes.
Unique in the way that it started. Now this is Arroyo Trabuco Golf Course up there in Trabuco Canyon. This is right south of Crown Valley, Crown Valley Parkway. And this was very unique how this started, but not unprecedented. It's things like this have happened before. So how did this start?
No, well, we received the notification of the fire on a golf course, which isn't totally unheard of.
Yeah.
Anytime we have any fires on any kind of brush fires, our fire investigators are dispatched to the location and then begin investigating the cause and origin of the fire. So after interviewing some people, we had some golfers that came up to us and they said that they know how the fire started. And the story they sold is that they were on the golf course playing, and one of their golfers hit the ball into a rough area next to off the fairway.
Right.
He pulled out his titanium alloy driver to try and get his ball out of the rough and back onto the fairway. Accidentally struck a rock while he was hitting his golf ball, creating a spark that actually began the fire.
Wow.
These poor guys, they tried to put this fire out with their water bottles. They tried pouring the cooler on it. They even the little jars of sand that you have on the golf carts to fill in the divots that you make when you golf. They tried that, and that didn't work either. And unfortunately, it went up the hill and started the entire hill on fire. So we thought, but this is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me yesterday.
University of California, Irvine actually did a study on this, and they discovered that you can take a titanium alloy driver, strike it against rocks with what they call a high silica compound, like a quartz rock, for example, for you geologists that are out there.
Wow.
And it'll create a spark that's about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and as we know, that's more than enough to get a fire going. So this is a very unusual method of fire starting, but it's not the first time it's happened. It actually happened a couple years earlier, the same golf course, almost the exact same hole.
Wow.
We also, I think we had a picture of it, I don't know if you have it on your screens, but back in 2010 at the Shady Canyon Golf Club, we had the exact same thing happen there before. So although it's an unusual occurrence, it's not the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
People have asked us, what is the fire authority's position on the use of titanium alloy drivers on golf courses as it pertains to fire safety?
Interesting.
We haven't come up with one yet.
Yeah.
We would say try and hit more fairways. Number one.
Exactly.
But aside from that, again, this fire lasted fortunately a short period of time. It was a light, flashy fuel that we could go direct on. It wasn't heavy vegetation. And fortunately, again, although some neighborhoods were threatened by this fire, there were no houses that were damaged and no houses destroyed, and nobody got injured.
All right.
And at the end of the day, if we can do those three things, we're gonna.
That's fantastic.
It's a good day.
And maybe also the moral of the story is yes, become a better golfer.
Become a better golfer.
A lot of those places are cordoned off, and if you hit your ball in there, you may see your ball 2 feet from there. But it'll be staked off. You're not supposed to go in there, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But
we received lots of interesting tweets on our Twitter page when we when we revealed the cause of the fire.
Exactly. Well, coming up is fall prevention. I think we're probably in fall prevention month right now, and one of the things we're going to talk about with Alexa here is senior fall prevention within the home. And it is falls are, I think, one of the #1 causes of injuries for seniors, meaning other than just other things that could happen to them or medical conditions. And a fall to a senior can result in a life-changing, if not life-threatening, injury, right?
Yes. It's actually the #1 cause of non-fatal and fatal injuries for seniors. So it's something that we've taken seriously, and we're working with a lot of partners, the City of Laguna Woods, Mission Hospital, the Braille Institute, and also the Dale McIntosh Center to hopefully combat this. So we are in Fall Prevention Month. Tomorrow is actually Fall Prevention Awareness Day.
Yes.
So it's right in line with that.
Yeah, and I want to mention again, I've mentioned this a few times, that coming up at the city, they're having a fall prevention sort of a seminar that's going on. They're doing it with Mission Hospital, and I think somebody maybe from 22
Yes.
might be there, and a
Station
few other
22
people
there,
as
yes.
well. So keep that in mind. But you know, we got a couple pictures on the screen, and one of them around the house.
Yes.
This is where a lot of the falls occur. Yes, people can be out walking and trip on a curb or something like this, but within the home, that's where most of these falls are happening. And most of the time, they are preventable in some way, right?
Yes.
With a little planning.
The little planning. So it doesn't hurt to do kind of a home hazard hunt. We have found that there's a lot of cool accessories for the
Yes.
home that don't look. A lot of times our seniors don't want to have the rail bar or something plastic, bulky, ugly that's
Right.
going to upset the aesthetic of the home.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of cool different tools that we've come across that look really nice. Little handlebars that are metal actually look like decorations instead of
exactly.
something kind of ugly in your home. And it really helps. So non-slip rugs, non-slip mats, the handlebars in the shower, even just using bed risers or chair risers
Exactly.
to lift up the couch, make it a little easier to get up out of bed or out of the couch. All of these we've found do a tremendous job at assisting seniors and hopefully preventing these types of falls.
Yeah, and I know that even within this community, there are services that'll help come into your home. And one of the resources people have is right down the street, the Florence Sylvester Senior Center. And I know that you can give them a call, and they work with different folks that'll actually come into your home. And down the street, we have a great company, and somebody who's come on many times, Leslie Gabola of Adapt to It. They'll do that for you. They have a lot of these devices. And you know, the photo, I have one of the photos here of a bathroom. And yes, it might look a little overboard as far as the handles that are there, but it's mainly there to see what's available.
Yes.
For instance, like a shower, if you can do it and have a walk-in shower, it's really great. You have the shower chair in there. And then, as you can see, some of these railings, one of them on one side is at an angle, and I know that if you have one next to a bathroom, or I mean next to the shower or a toilet or something, it's got to be angled a certain way to make it so when you're getting up, you're not contorting yourself for that handles. But there's so many different things out there that can help you. Most of them are very inexpensive, right?
Yeah, most of them are inexpensive, and those resources that you mentioned, a lot of times too, they'll provide cost assistance for
Yes.
seniors.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a huge like saving measure as well. So it never hurts to seek out these resources, and so that's what we're trying to do, is kind of help assist with that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And just look around your home. If there's something you can trip on, throw rugs, you know, your dog's water dish or whatever it might be, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I know 22 probably gets a lot of calls in this community for falls, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the #1 calls that they respond on in the community here. A lot of people, as they get older, or you know, we don't say older, more experienced
Yes.
individuals, it's hard for them to admit that maybe they need some of these devices, maybe they need some of these handrails, maybe they need some of these non-slip mats, because as we get older, we don't want to admit that oh well, maybe I have to be careful about the idea of falling down. And people that we've responded on, they didn't believe that they would have that much trouble getting back up off the ground.
Yeah.
And we've come across people that have been lying on the ground for hours at a time.
Right.
And it's a very scary situation. It's a very helpless feeling, and you can tell that they're very shaken up by it. We want to provide them, the tools and the contacts and the people that can help them live their lives as safely as possible.
Yeah.
Without being too garish as far as their decorations in their homes.
Yes. Well, there's a lot out there that can help you out, and I appreciate you both coming on. I'll always enjoy it.
Thank you
Captain
again.
Larry Kurtz, Public Information Officer, Orange County Fire Authority. Alexa Pratt, she's an education specialist. And there's a lot of information that you can find. You can go to ocfa.org, and from there you can get their Facebook link, which they always put different things on, even seminars and stuff that they have.
Yep, seminars. So as part of the fall prevention program, we'll be offering seminars, lectures throughout October and November to anyone who wants them. You can go on our website, or you can give us a call. Our general line is 714-573-6200. We can
All
schedule
right.
that.
Good to see you both.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very
Take
much for
care.
your time.
We're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
Yeah.
Very good.